Automotive Racing GT3 Championship on the PS4 took place for round 4 at Zolder last Sunday. It was an exciting qualifying session. Cam Diz eventually coming out on top, getting pole position, even despite this little mistake after he already set his pole lap.
The curve there, and into the wall he goes, coming through the chicane. It's a tricky.
But as we said, despite that, he was still able to convert that to P1 in qualifying. So it was Cam Diz on pole ahead of MTL Bloodshot, lining up in second place. Rapid Duck in third, or Rocco fourth. Followed by PS4 who would start this one in fifth place. Snow Wolf in P6, followed by Zalova in seventh, Recco Vantage 8th. Nilsson 9th, Orange Rally 10th, Carmet in 11th, followed by Apollo Aston 12th, and Edis Allcom rounding out the grid in P13. Cam Diz managed to put out a bit of a gap at the start, had a 1.3 gap at the end of the first lap, but then this happened.
The race leader has dropped it coming out of the first chicane. That's going to move MTL Bloodshot up into the lead of the race.
And that ultimately handed the advantage to MTL Bloodshot in the early stages of the race. Cam Diz dropping down to third place behind MTL Bloodshot's main rival for the championship, Rocco. But then Cam Diz managed to get up into second place, and a few laps later, MTL Bloodshot, bit of deja vu here, did pretty much almost exactly the same thing as Cam Diz, but actually managed to catch it, unlike Cam Diz. So
just coming around to fact. MTL Bloodshot has made a mistake, and Cam Diz looking around the outside. MTL were horribly wide there through the first chicane, the same place where Cam Diz made a mistake before. And that is now MTL Bloodshot losing the lead of the race.
The ascendancy once again.
Staying around the same. It's gone up a little bit. Cam Diz continuing to just gradually increase his gap at the front.
But then it was the pit stops that really changed everything. It was that where MTL Bloodshot was able to take the ball by the horns.
Cam into the lead of the race. That's the big news here through the pit window. MTL Bloodshot now leads the race by a couple of seconds. But did he change tyres? I think he might have changed tyres, you know, I don't know.
From here, Cam knew he had a lot of work to do, and he managed to get a bit lucky with the back markers. MTL Bloodshot getting a little bit held up, put Cam poised to do something about it, but then this.
No. Oh my goodness, Cam Diz has lost it. Cam Diz is spotted coming out of the second of the first chicane, and that's going to give MTL Bloodshot a huge lead. It's going to give him comfort out of the front.
A second mistake in the same corner for Cam Diz, ultimately taking the possibility of a win pretty much away from him at this point. Final lap of the race, Cam Reed did have a bit of an assault on MTL Bloodshot. Looked like he had a bit of a chance. He managed to really close the gap by about 7 or 8 seconds, but then
oh my goodness me, he
ran a
almost
bit
goes into the
wide.
barriers there.
And that pretty much put pay to any chances that he might have had of being able to take the win. So MTL Bloodshot was able to see this one out. And well, Cam Diz, to be fair to him, probably did have the pace in this one, and probably was the quickest driver out on track, but in terms of consistency and keeping a cool head, MTL Bloodshot got to get full marks.
The final chicane is going to take another win here. Our motive in the GT3s here on the PS4. Great driving from MTL Bloodshot tonight. He's going to extend the gap. He's going to, take the lead of the championship over Rocco. He's going to have an 8-point gap going into next week at Barcelona. Congratulations, MTL Bloodshot.
So MTL Bloodshot taking an impressive win in the end, coming out on top ahead of Cam Diz. MTL Bloodshot's main rival for the championship, Rocco, down in third place, so that will obviously have helped MTL, the fact that Cam Diz was racing. So MTL Bloodshot leads the championship by 8 points going into the final 2 rounds. Make sure you join us this coming Sunday, everybody, because we're going to be at Barcelona for this one, and this championship is really heating up. It's pretty tight at the top. MTL's been quicker the last few rounds, but Rocco's still there, poised to do something. Definitely check out the rest of the season, guys. It's going to be epic. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Please do drop a like on the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.
Another win here. Our motive in the GT3s here on the PS4. Great driving from MTL Bloodshot tonight. He's going to extend the gap. He's going to, take the lead of the championship over Rocco. He's going to have an 8-point gap going into next week at Barcelona. Congratulations, MTL Bloodshot. What a drive and brilliant composure. Coolness personified at the end of that one. MTL Bloodshot takes the win ahead of Cam Diz in GT3s here on the PS4. Great driving from MTL Bloodshot tonight. He's going to extend the gap. He's going to, take the lead of the championship. MTL Bloodshot. What a drive and brilliant composure. Coolness personified at the end of that one. MTL Bloodshot takes the win ahead of Cam Diz in second place. Rocco, the champion coming into this round, will be second going into the penultimate round of the season next week at Barcelona. 8 points separating the 2 championship contenders in favour of
eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, won't you let the light shine through?
Welcome back everybody to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are here for the penultimate round of the GT3s on the PlayStation 4 platform here for Season 7 on Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we're coming round to now the championship rounds, the all-important part of the season. Between the two championship contenders, we know it's close, it's been close since the get-go, but it's now coming down to the wire between MTL Bloodshot and Rocco, who are separated by just 8 points coming into this round, so it's nip and tuck coming into this part of the season. Who is going to prevail between these two? It's going to be really between these two, I think, for the championship now. They're a long way clear of Jay Palotto, who can't make tonight, and in fact, speaking of drivers who can't make it tonight, some drivers haven't confirmed. Slow Wolf, Rapid Duck, Apollo Aston, Edie's Allcom didn't say anything about not coming tonight, but they're not here, so I don't know whether or not they're planning to turn up at some point tonight, but nonetheless they haven't told us they're not coming, so I assume they are supposed to be coming, but they're not here. So yeah, I don't quite know what's going off there. I don't know what's occurring in that situation, but something's obviously gone wrong. There's been some kind of miscommunication somewhere, which has meant that they're not here when they haven't suggested that they might not be here. So yeah, again, not really sure about that one. Jay Palotto did say that he did say that he might not be coming, then he said he would be, then he said he wasn't. So yeah, I don't know. I know it's Easter, but guys, come on, tell us if you're not coming. Do us the actual fate. Do us the decency of actually telling us you're not coming, because we put a lot of effort into this. You know, we put our heart and souls into making sure that we got a league. I myself stream these live. I stream the races to my computer. I then pick it up on OBS on my computer. We stream every single race live on YouTube with commentary. I'll try and make it as professional as I can. I put all of my effort into it, and then 5 people don't even say when they're not coming. It's an absolute kick in the teeth. It's a joke, and you know, there's no point in mincing my words and saying it on Discord and moaning about it on Discord, because it just happens every time. So the only way is just, if I say it on the stream, the point might get across that it's massively insulting and it's not fair. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get into the actual action. So it's PS Vid's currently leading the way at the top of the leaderboard. 1 minute 52.6. It's very close at the top of the leaderboard. Only 0.2 of a second separating the top 3. PS Vid's, MTL Bloodshot, Carl Mete separated by 0.2. MTL Bloodshot up towards the line and goes on pole position there. Absolutely blows them out of the water. Almost 0.7 quicker than PS Vid. So MTL Bloodshot doing an absolutely fantastic job right there. So yeah, absolutely excellent stuff there from him. We're going to get the standings up on the screen so you guys can see the situation in the championship as it stands. We have got the standings because we did actually use them in a little highlights video in the week. Some of you might have seen that one. So yeah, we actually had those up on the screen as of last time. So here we go. We found them. Okay, here we go. Right, so MTL Bloodshot leading the championship at the moment on 214 points, ahead of Rocco in second on 206. So it's only 8 points separating the top two in the championship. Then you've got Orange Rally a little way behind in third place. Orange Rally also here tonight, so we'll pick up some good points. Jay Polito not here this week, said he couldn't come first of all, then said he could come, and then said he couldn't. So yeah, he's not here tonight. Carmete fifth in the championship on 128 points. Reco Vantage sits in 6th on 115, followed by PS Fit on 104 in 7th place. Nilsson 8th on 104, followed by Edis Allcom in 9th on 95 points. And Dracula completing at the top 10 on 65 points so far this season. But yeah, very sodden Catalonia tonight. Barcelona, very difficult conditions for all these drivers. It's not going to be easy tonight, we know that for sure. But MTL Bloodshot currently doing a really good job, currently making the best of these difficult conditions here tonight, and really is making the most of it. Shane's be coming up towards the line, can't improve at the moment, stays in 4th place for the time being. Orange Rally up towards the line, can he go a little bit quicker? Nope, stays in P5 for now. Nilsson coming out of the last corner, as we see Ryan Ruby's got into 5th place, so he's getting quicker as this session goes on. Here's Ryan, here comes Nilsson out of the last corner. What could Nilsson put on the board here as he comes over, goes P3 with that lap. MTL Bloodshot leading the way. He's just done a quicker lap time there. He went 0.2 of a second quicker at the top of the leaderboard, so he's now dipping well into the 1:51s. Video Gamer currently sat in 3rd as Ryan Ruby's gone 2nd there, puts himself originally on the front row. So Ryan now starting to get ahead of steam here. Said in the Discord server a little while ago he wasn't really finding pace, but he's now seems to be getting the times on the board here. Video Gamer sat in 3rd place at the moment, 0.7 of a second off of the fastest time as he's coming through the final part of the lap. Video Gamer won at this track, won in this class actually as well. GT3 winner at this track is Video Gamer. Did a really great job a couple of weeks ago here in the multi-class series on a Wednesday night. So he knows what it takes to win a race around here, but that was in the dry. This tonight in the wet conditions, he's over the line and stays in P3 for the time being. Paulo Aston's joined us, that's good to see. I'm sure I saw Snow Wolf earlier tonight. I don't think I'm tripping. I am 90% sure I saw Slow Wolf in the practice session earlier on. I really don't think that I'm seeing things here. I see Edis Allcom online playing ACC. So he's getting kicked out.
Oh no, he's in. Sorry, Edie's all comes in. Sorry, I apologise. Apologies, Edie's all come. Rapid Duck, should I say? Rapid Duck. He's online on Discord. Hasn't said a word. Hasn't told us he's not coming. So Wolf, I saw him earlier on. He's not here. Honestly, I don't know what's what. So many people online. Game for Life said he couldn't race tonight. He's playing F1. It's like, come on, man. Get real. Don't sign up for a championship if you don't want to race. Shane speed up towards the line. Can't improve. Stays P4 for now. CPS Fitz coming in towards the final chicane, rounding out that corner. Oh, getting a little bit of a slide there on the curb as he now comes out of the final corner and out onto the start-finish straight. Can PS Fitz go a little bit quicker here? Up towards the line he comes, doesn't improve, stays in 5th, 8/10 shy of the pole time. Video Gamer coming through the final corner. Can he improve? Hasn't got much to find. 7/10 of a second. Can he get himself on the front row? Maybe ahead of Ryan. Up towards the line comes Video Gamer. He goes pole there. Look at that. He found 8/10 of a second on that previous lap there. He goes 300s quicker than MTL Bloodshot. MTL Bloodshot in the pits. Can't do anything about it. Video Gamer absolutely putting one out of the bag there brilliantly. And to the top of the leaderboard he goes. Fantastic stuff from Video Gamer. MTL and Ryan both in the pits, so they're not going to be able to respond to that. Cheyenne Speed is out there. He's coming around the final part of the lap. You've got PS Vids also out there at the moment as well. But closing stages of this qualifying session, looking like Video Gamer's done enough here to wrestle pole in the dying embers of the session. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of drivers are using the dry tyres right now. It's a damp track, but it doesn't look like it's absolutely slippery or terrain short. It looks like it's quite manageable at the moment. I imagine at the moment it's quite a grey area between softs and wets. As we see, Cheyenne Speed's gone into 3rd place in this session, so Cheyenne Speed's improved by quite a bit there. Gets himself ahead of Ryan. Ryan now down to P4 in this qualifying leaderboard. Big surprise of the session, Rocco, 2nd in the championship, last season's runner-up in the championship, down in P9. Can he improve sufficiently in the final part of this race? The wet conditions could be a chance for Rocco to get a one over on MTL Bloodshot, but MTL currently flying high in this leaderboard, currently 2nd place, 300ths off of the pole time. What can Rocco do here as he's coming through the final corner in the number 89 Lexus? Here he comes, straight run to the line for Rocco, up towards the line. What can he do? Stays in P9. And Video Gamer improved his lap time as well, so Video Gamer pushing it down to a 1 minute 51.3. It looked like the track was actually improving at the end of the session. So Video Gamer pole ahead of MTL Bloodshot, who line up alongside him on the front row. We're going to have Cheyenne Speed and Ryan Ruby on the 2nd row, followed by PS Vids and Nilsson in 5th and 6th. Carl Mete in 7th ahead of Orange Rally. Rocco 9th ahead of Easy as Allcom. Reco Vantage will start 11th, followed by Dracula in 12th. Slow Wolf in P13. Don't think Slow Wolf's in the session. He joined earlier on and then just left at the start of qualifying. So I don't know what's going on with him. But anyway, Apollo Aston will start in 13th place for this one. We're back in a couple of minutes, guys, for the formation lap. Stick with us. Go grab yourself a drink. Bevy, do what you're going to do. Toilet, snack, so on and so forth. We will be back very, very shortly.
Here we are then, guys. We're getting ready to go for the 5th round of the GT3 Championship here at Motive on ACC for the PS4 platform here in Barcelona. Very wet and soggy Circuit de Catalunya as the drivers are now just coming in towards the final sector. We just saw on the top left-hand corner, you might have seen them coming through turn 9 as they were just entering the final part of the track. They'll be rounding that final corner in just a second. You will see the pack. There we go, coming around that final corner now. Once they get to the line, we will be officially racing for this one. Video Gamer on the left-hand side of your screen with MTL Bloodshot alongside him on the right. You can see them in the distance just coming into the shot now. You've got, here we go, green light. Then we are underway here at Barcelona, and it's the Video Gamer getting away very nicely, but MTL Bloodshot a little bit hesitant off of the start line as he's got a couple of drivers looking to his inside, and with 3-4 wide in the background and somebody's onto the grass there. Oh my goodness. Into turn 1 we come, and it's currently Video Gamer leading the way. MTL Bloodshot's lost out a few positions here. He's down to, I think, P5 in this race, but it's Video Gamer leading the race ahead of Ryan, and Ryan getting a bit of a squirty there as he came through turn 3 as he just had a bit of a hesitation. But it's Video Gamer from Ryan Ruby from Cheyenne Speed in 3rd place. Amazing that we were able to keep on track of that with the leaderboard being so diabolical on this game. But MTL Bloodshot, one of the big championship contenders, is behind Rocco. So Rocco's in 6th place. And what's happening here? Somebody's got loose. That is Edith Allcom and Dracula as well. In fact, Recco Vantage getting out of shape. Apollo Aston has had a bit of a nightmare to this race, and he's well off of the back of the pack at the moment. But it's Video Gamer Ryan Ruby, Cheyenne Speed had a PS Fids, Carl Mete, Rocco the top 6, and MTL Bloodshot's dropped a little bit off of these guys. As we can see, Nilsson has made the move here on Edith Allcom, or has he? He's around the outside here, coming in towards turn 8. No, Edith is back down the inside. Nilsson's back down the inside and gets back ahead of Edith Allcom up into 9th place. We've got Lazy Cameron and Lightbird in the comments. Good to see you guys. As Dracula's looking down the inside of Edith here, coming in towards turn 9. Goes a little bit deep into the corner though. Edith Allcom's going to get that cut back, and he's going to get the position straight back there. Dracula not able to execute that one to perfection. Recco Vantage has gone ahead of Orange Rally up into 11th place. Has Orange Rally made a mistake as Apollo Aston is now closing on to the back of these two in 11th and 12th places. But Video Gamer and Ryan Ruby are locking horns here at the end of the first lap as they're coming to the final corner. Cheyenne Speed, PS Vids, Carl Mete and Rocco in hot pursuit as we're coming round to complete lap 1 of the race. Video Gamer though starting to pull out. And what's happened to Ryan? Oh, Ryan's gone wide out of the final corner, and he's going to drop down the field here. He's going to be falling down like a stone. He's down in 10th place here in this race. What a shame for Ryan after such a promising start. He was all over a Video Gamer after the end of the first lap. He was breathing down his neck and waiting to pounce, but that's just knocked him back a little bit, and he's now going to be, I think, around 10 seconds behind the race leader at this point. In fact, more than that. He's about 12-15 seconds off of the lead, so Ryan's really shot himself in the foot there. The Video Gamer's now got a 1.6 second lead at the front over Cheyenne Speed, ahead of PS Vids in 3rd, then Carl Mete, Rocco, MTL Bloodshot on the back of his championship rival, but Rocco, as it stands, in an important position here. P5 in this race means he'll gain points on his championship rival, but early doors as he tags him. Oh, he tags Carl Mete in the rear, and Carl Mete's off the track as Rocco tries to return to the track straight away. Impatience there from Rocco. He didn't need to do that, and he's now going to have to wait for lots of drivers to come through. You see these all come there. Recco Vantage as well. Rocco drops down to 12th place in this race due to that collision. He just went a little bit impatient there on the brakes, trying to get past Carl Mete. Tagged him in the rear. Carl Mete appeared to come off worse to start off with, but then Rocco tried to rejoin too quickly and got tagged around by Nilsson, and Carl Mete loses out 1 place to MTL Bloodshot. Rocco has lost 7 places and it's down to 12th place. In the meantime, you've got Carl Mete trying to defend from Ryan. In fact, Ryan's got to move down on Carl Mete into turn 9. Can Carl Mete come back at him? Ryan holding around the outside for 10. He's going to have the inside for 11, and Ryan gets that move completed there. Carl Mete still trying to come back at him, but Ryan doesn't leave the door open, holds a tight ship there, and there's no way through for Carl Mete once again. Oh, that's Dracula's had a spin coming through the chicane. Dracula's had an off, and he's going to have to wait for them to come by, I think. Dracula there having an absolute show coming through that part of the track, and he's going to lose out there to Edith, Recco and Orange Rally, and Rocco as well through. So now Dracula, the latest driver to occupy that 12th spot. Apollo Aston's still going. He's a couple of seconds behind him at the moment, so he's going well at the moment. Apollo Aston, our late stand-in for tonight. Big thank you to Apollo for joining us Very, very last minute here. Much appreciated, mate. As we got Video Gamer still leading this race though by 2.5 seconds ahead of Cheyenne Speed. PS Fid's still breathing down his neck at the moment. Only just under a second between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot. You got between Cheyenne Speed and PS Fid. MTL Bloodshot 2 seconds behind PS Fid, running in 4th place at the moment. You got Nilsson there in 5th. Ryan Ruby not in too bad of a position when you consider the spin that he has at the end of the first lap. He's about 11 to 12 seconds off for the lead, so a podium not out of the question. The win's not completely out of the question for Ryan, but could be unlikely at this point, as we can see Edis Allcom trying to get onto the back of Rocco, but Rocco's really a long way behind his championship rival at the moment. He's got a lot of work to do in this one. Yeah, Dracula GD, says Kim Phoenix. Dracula doing, well, unfortunately for him, not the best of jobs right now. King Phoenix, he had that spin coming through the chicane, but he's about 4 seconds behind Edis Allcom, so let's see where he can get to in this race. Can he recover the positions? Can he recover the lost time and get himself into the top 10? Pretty sharpish. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Cheyenne Speed still on the back of, it's got PS Fids all over the back of him here. These two battling it out over 2nd place. MTL Bloodshot not really closing on them that much. He's not really falling off with them either though. Rocco Vantage is on the back of Rocco here. But Rocco very close on the back of Orange Rally here, and Edis Allcom started to fall off with this trio here, battling it out over 8th place. Orange Rally, Rocco and Recco back up to the front. It's Cheyenne Speed still staying ahead of PS Fids, and Cheyenne Speed's gap PS Fids a little bit to the final sector. The gap now 1.3 between those two. But 8th, 9th and 10th places, Orange Rally, Rocco and Recco Vantage still going at it. Recco's lost a bit of time to these two coming through the final sector, but Rocco's got a great run here coming out to the start finish straight. A little bit wide on the exit, but kept it out of the gravel. And here goes Rocco, looking to make the move here on Orange Rally. Pulls out of the slipstream now, and he's going to make that move. Pretty routine stuff there down the inside for Rocco. Orange Rally with no defence, and Rocco gets himself into 8th place here in this race. So that was good driving there from Rocco. Managed to get that run coming out of the final corner despite getting wide out onto the curb, and good stuff there from him. Gap between Cheyenne and PS Fids now up to 1.5 seconds. MTL Bloodshot's gaining on PS Fids by quite a bit. It's only 1.6 now between PS Fids and MTL Bloodshot, so that's coming down as we speak. In terms of Recco, he's dropped off of Orange Rally a little bit. Edis Allcom still running 11th place. Dracula reeling in Edis Allcom. The gap now 1.7 between those two. Apollo Aston a little way behind Dracula at this point. But Video Gamer opening up a bit of a gap here at the front. He's got a 3-second lead here over Cheyenne Speed, so Video Gamer looking in cruise control so far tonight. He just needs to keep it up and keep doing what he's doing. It's MTL Bloodshot. What's happened? Oh no, Video Gamer's had an off. Video Gamer's had it off. He's somewhere. He's had a moment coming to the middle sector, and he's now about 6 seconds off for the lead. He's behind Cheyenne Speed, PS Fids, and MTL Bloodshot into 3rd place, which is only going to help him in his championship push. Came into this one with an 8-point lead, and MTL Bloodshot now in the box seat, you've got to say, for this championship, with Rocco down in 8th place. But Video Gamer seemed to be in control of the race at a 3-second lead over Cheyenne Speed. That's now been brought down to 4th place in this race as he goes ever so wide there coming through the penultimate corner, and Cheyenne Speed has got a 1.4 second lead, but PS Fids can now sense a race win with MTL Bloodshot continuing to just make little gains on him over the course of the last few laps. But it's Cheyenne Speed, PS Fids, MTL Bloodshot the top 3. Bit of a gap back to Video Gamer now, with Nilsson there running in 5th place for about 4 seconds behind Video Gamer, about 10 seconds off for the lead at this point. You've got Ryan still going in 6th place, matching the pace of the leaders, but unfortunately with that moment coming out of the final corner a few laps ago, it's really shot him in the foot. We got Carl Mete running in 7th place, and then Rocco not too far behind him in 8th, ahead of Orange Rally, he's actually pulled out a 1.5 seconds as Rocco over Orange Rally since making a move on him a couple of laps ago. We've got Recco Vantage falling off at the back of Orange Rally for Dracula, Edis and Apollo Aston still going at the moment in P13 in this race. But PS Vids is now got MTL very much looming large in his mirrors, just over a second between these two in 2nd and 3rd places, and that's continuing to come down as Orange Rally has closed up onto the back of Rocco. So as Rocco made a bit of a mistake as they came through the first sector checkpoint, that's come down from about 1.5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So Orange Rally now back in this fight for 8th place with Rocco, and Rocco maybe having a little step. We've seen a couple of times over the course of this race, Rocco seems to be making mistakes here in these tricky wet conditions. As the gap between PS Vids and MTL has gone up a little bit, coming through the middle sector now up at 1.3. But PS Vids gained a little bit on Cheyenne Speed as well, the race leader. So The gap between the top 3 seconds. It's all tight at the front. Video Gamer still going in P4. Was leading the race before his spin. Dropped down to P4 a couple of laps ago, but he's not too far away. If anything were to happen at the front, you can bet he'll be there ready to pounce on these guys. But Rocco and Orange Rally still banning it out over 8th and 9th. And Rocco's deep coming into turn 9, but no way through for Orange Rally at the moment. Rocco, though, looks like he's paddling a little bit here in this one. These guys 3.5 seconds clear of Rocco, who's got Dracula reeling him in. Edie's Allcom was running in 12th place, so Dracula's clear Edie's quite a while ago now, and is now very much focusing his attention on the number 16 Porsche there of Recco Vantage, as Recco having a bit of a hesitation there. Oh, as Dracula's lost it. Dracula another spin through the same part of the track. We saw him making a mistake through there on the first lap of the race, and he's done it again. And he is absolutely sliding that car all over the place right now, is Dracula. As you see, Edie's Allcom there running in 12th place, 6 seconds behind Dracula at this point. Apollo Aston looks like it looks like he's going nowhere fast at this point. I don't know what's happened to him here. Oh, it's PS Fids. PS Fids has lost out to MTL Bloodshot. MTL Bloodshot sneaks up the inside. PS Fids went wide there coming through turn 4. Got to be onto the gravel, and that's all that PS Fids needed to move himself up into... MTL Bloodshot needed to get up into P2. PS Fids with a big mistake there. King Felix says, yeah, Cheyenne P1. He's happy about that one. Cheyenne Speed currently showing everybody how it's done, but PS Fids losing out to MTL Bloodshot, who moves himself into 2nd place, and that's more points for MTL Bloodshot in this championship battle. Obviously going into the final round of the season next week. It's crucial stuff here. He wants to have as big a gap as he can. He's currently got a big cushion now between himself and Rocco in that fight, and he'll be wanting to bring himself into that next week with the most momentum possible. But MTL Bloodshot doing a good job here since the first lap woes that he suffered. So Cheyenne Speed leading the race. MTL Bloodshot 4 seconds behind him in 2nd place. You've got PS Fids within a second at the moment, pretty close behind. Ryan Ruby's actually done bits here. He's got ahead of Nilsson. Nilsson's gone off. That's why Nilsson's dropping down the order here. He's dropped behind Carmette, and Rocco's going to be on the back of him as well. So Rocco, with the straight line speed of the Lexus, you would think is probably going to breeze past the Nilsson here. And he does so, yeah, around the outside like he's not even there. So Rocco up into 7th place, and Ryan Ruby actually just back into this race, despite obviously having the moment on the first lap. Big slide there, big slide, big slide, big slide. Well, very well held. I've got to say, that looked like that was on ice. I think there was a bit of lag also involved. He's actually lost time to the leaders here as Ryan, so he's now over 20 seconds off of the lead of Cheyenne Speed. Having a bit of lag there is Ryan at this point. Seems like he's clinging on for dear life. Orange Rally on back of Nilsson, as these two currently trying to put pressure on Rocco, who's running in 7th place in this race. Rocco a couple of seconds behind Carmette at this point. Cheyenne Speed, though, out the front, coming through the middle part of the lap. On lap 7 of the race, he's got 4.6 back to MTL Bloodshot, who made the move on PS Fids. PS Fids went wide coming out of turn 3 a few laps ago, went onto the gravel, made him a big mistake, and that was all that MTL Bloodshot needed to put himself into P2. But since getting into P2, he hasn't really pulled out the gap. PS Fids has shown that he has got the pace to match him at this point. These two, though, have got Video Gamer both reeling them in at this point, and Video Gamer, he almost made a mistake there coming through the entry to the chicane. There's that corner, that right hander coming into the chicane, got a bit onto that curve, and that could have very easily sent him into the wall opposite before the chicane, but held on to that one. But Video Gamer starting to reel these two in by quite a bit. He's only about 7 or 8 seconds off of the lead, but I think Cheyenne Speed at this point looking pretty comfortable. But if Video Gamer can get onto the back of MTL and PS Vids and clear them, then you'd imagine he would definitely make a fist of trying to catch Cheyenne Speed out the front. But right now it's still Cheyenne Speed leading the race by 5 seconds to these two, MTL and PS Vids. And Video Gamer, it will be looming larger and larger in their rear view mirrors over the next few laps, as Orange Rally has got himself into 7th place ahead of Nilsson. So Nilsson down to 8th. Didn't see what happened there to Nilsson, as Ryan is in the pits. So Ryan Ruby coming in at the end of lap 7. So I don't know if he had damage on the car. That could be why he was suddenly a long way up behind the leaders. But Ryan Ruby coming into the pits. So whatever's gone off there, we don't know. But he's had an absolute horror show. And he's going to drop down the order. This is before the pit window is even open. So it's going to really hurt his race coming in at this stage. So Cheyenne Speedler still leading the race by 5 seconds ahead of MTL Bloodshot. PS Vids Video Gamer very much on the coattails of these guys right now. Rocco about a second behind Carl Mete, continuing to reel him in at this point, and needs to make sure we can minimise the points gained by MTL Bloodshot tonight. But really, these guys 20 seconds off of a Video Gamer. So the top 4 in the league of their own, and then it's a big gap back to these two, banging over 5th and 6th. But Rocco needs to get himself into 5th at the very least in this race, realistically, to keep control of this championship in the battle with MTL Bloodshot. He'll be trailing him by quite a few points though, coming into the final round next season, coming down towards turn 9, as we can see Carl Mete having a defence to the inside, covering up that inside line, actually taking the middle lane there, coming through that corner. Rocco with no way through at the moment. Orange Rally Dracula there in the background of this, running in 9th place ahead of Rocco Vantage, and you've got Edie Zulcon running about 5 seconds behind him in 11th place. Ryan Ruby in the pits still as the leaders coming round now. Cheyenne Speed leading us into turn 1. There's MTL Bloodshot running in 2nd place, still ahead of PS Vids and Video Gamer, now right on the back of these two, looking to get himself onto the podium and after the leader as soon as he possibly can. Video Gamer, we know he's got the pace to go after Cheyenne Speed, but he needs to get himself into P2 quickly. He needs to get himself into clean air so he can actually go after him pretty sharpish. But on the back of PS Vids right now, PS Vids has got enough coming into turn 4 and will stay ahead of Video Gamer for now. As Rocco's looking to the outside of turn 1 on Carl Mete, but Carl Mete just hugging that curve on the inside. Orange Rally a couple of seconds behind these two as they continue to battle it out. Rocco might have to make a bit of a compromise coming into turn 3. If he can just take it easy on the entry, he can then put the power down in the early part of the corner and maybe get the exit, and then coming into turn 4 possibly send one on the inside, but he's too far back, and Rocco not able to do anything just there. Back to the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. PS Vids is going to be looking in his mirrors. He's fallen off the back of MTL Bloodshot a little bit because he's got a Video Gamer. Video Gamer! Oh no! Video Gamer's got a big snap of oversteer there coming out of turn 8, and is that going to be terminal damage to the car? I don't know whether he's going to retire the car here. I think he's stopped the car. He's thinking about it. He's thinking, do I retire the car? Do I retire to pits, or do I complete the lap and drive around? He's retired from the race. He's left the server. Video Gamer has left the server after a big mistake there coming through turn 8. Got a big bit of snap oversteer, and that's all that he needed to send her into the barriers. What a shame there for Video Gamer, and that's just let PS Vids off of the hook here as he's now pulling back onto the rear of MTL Bloodshot. These two have actually gained a bit on Cheyenne Speed over that lap. The gap's down to 4 seconds. It was about 5.5 on the previous lap, so Cheyenne Speed maybe has made a small mistake here on this lap, but it's Cheyenne Speed from MTL Bloodshot from PS Vids, and the top 3 currently separated by 5 seconds. But we are now without Video Gamer, who took the win at this track in the multi-class series for the GT3 class on a Wednesday night a couple of weeks ago. We are now without him after a big mistake coming through turn 8, terminal damage to that car, and he's out of the race. As Rocco's still on the back of Carl Mete as these two coming out of the final corner. Orange Rally's gained a little bit on these two, and Nilsson actually reeling them in a little bit in the background as well. Certainly not out of this battle for 4th, but Carl Mete's now got Rocco in the slipstream, and Rocco's going to surely look to make the move. He's going to have to go around the outside because Carl Mete's going to cover him off. He looks to the outside. Carl Mete once again breaking a little bit later than Rocco and gets it stopped in time. Rocco's still not able to get anything done here. Can he get the cut back coming through turn 3 as the gap's now up to nearly 2 seconds between MTL Bloodshot and PS Vids? Noticing that one on the timing board. So did PS Vids make a mistake, or is MTL just absolutely getting the hammer down here? Nonetheless, Carl Mete clinging on ahead of Rocco, holding on, coming in towards turn 4. This now for 4th place with the retirement of Video Gamer. But Carl Mete, Rocco, and now Orange Rally on these guys here. This is a battle for 4th place, 3 cars battling it out. Oh, as we see Rocco's got a little bit of snap oversteer, and he's wide onto the gravel, and that's going to possibly allow Nilsson to have, Nilsson to have a look here. Orange Rally up into 5th place in this race, and Rocco holds on ahead of Nilsson around the outside of turn 6. But a hairy moment there for Rocco, and he's making a few mistakes here in this race, that is for sure. He looks to be struggling a little bit in these conditions. Gap back up to over 5 seconds between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot. and Orange Rally trying to put pressure here on Carmete for 4th place. Got a few comments coming in right now. The Laser Camel says, go Nilsson. Unfortunately, Dracula could not practice this week. That's a massive shame. Obviously, he couldn't put in the time and effort and get his affinity with the track, but he's done a decent job nonetheless. King Phoenix, he's running in 8th place at the moment. He's not too far off of Nilsson. And we've lost another driver here. We have lost another driver. Who have we lost? We had already lost Video Gamer, and we've also lost. Don't know. It's not somebody down the bottom. Oh, Ryan. So we lost Ryan and Video Gamer. Those guys unfortunately retiring from the race. We saw Ryan in for heavy damage. We saw Video Gamer retired the car immediately after hitting the barriers. So those two have obviously bitten the dust in the first third of this race. I'm retiring the car, doesn't feel right at all, says Ryan. I think he was disconnected from the server, says King Phoenix. JR says Ryan pulled up the connection issues. No, it was, well, it might be his wheel, but he says the car's not feeling right. He jumped in quite late tonight as a reserve. Well, not as a reserve, he's actually a regular driver, but I think he forgot about the race. But yeah, he had to retire the car nonetheless. Happy Easter to you. Thank you, mate. Happy Easter to yourself and to the family as well. Hopefully you're having a good one, and hopefully kids enjoyed their Easter eggs as well. Gap at the front's gone up a bit, actually nearly 7 seconds now between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot. PS Vids, what's happened to PS Vids here? Because he's fallen behind Carmete and Orange Rally. No, he hasn't. That's a lie. That's a massive lie. But he has dropped well off at the back of MTL Bloodshot. So PS Vids has made a mistake somewhere out there, and he's now well adrift of the leaders. But MTL Bloodshot running in 2nd place hasn't really gained on Cheyenne Speed. So Cheyenne Speed continuing to pull out the gap. MTL Bloodshot though now well clear of PS Vids. And Rocco's trying to pull up onto the back of Carmete and Orange Rally again in this battle for 4th. But Orange Rally absolutely piling the pressure here on Carmete. The McLaren versus the Ferrari. Well, who's going to have the pace down the straight? We're about to find out. As we can see, Carmete going a bit deep, coming into the exit of the chicane. That will give Orange Rally a nice run here. Can he get a good exit coming out onto the start-finish straight? He does get a solid exit. I think it's a little bit too far back, though, to make anything happen into turn 1. I think that Carmete's going to have the legs of him coming up into turn 1. But Orange Rally has come into this race a little bit over the course of this one. Obviously, he's recently high in the championship, 3rd in the standings. He'll want to cement that P3 in the championship, and he's doing a good job right now of making that happen. But PS Vids also in a battle for P3 in the championship. I think so is Carmete actually. So PS Vids is really gaining points on those around him in the championship. Obviously, it's a big battle for P3 in the standings. Let's get the championship standings up so we know what we're talking about here, because we are actually talking some sense. So yeah, Orange Rally currently sits in 3rd in the championship on 137 points. Carmete is actually only 9 points behind him in 6th. No, 5th. 9 points behind him. Reco Vantage pretty much out of that battle now, with tonight showing down in P10 in this race. PS Vids in P7 in the championship on 104 points. He's 33 points adrift of Orange Rally, so even if he were to come P3 and Orange Rally to stay in P5 tonight, he'd still have a bit of a task on his hands to come P3 in a championship. But PS Vids could certainly get a top 5 finish in this championship if he continues the way he's going. He's doing a good job here this evening. He's been absolutely driving the wheels off of that Aston Martin here tonight, and it's been a superb performance from PS Vids. The gap between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot is not coming down, but it's not going up either. So MTL Bloodshot getting into a bit of a rhythm here, and if Cheyenne Speed were to make a mistake, or if he were to just take little bits of him over the course of the next few laps, then MTL Bloodshot could maybe be a factor in the race, in the battle for the race win here tonight. Don't count him out of potentially giving Cheyenne Speed a run for his money over the course of this race. Carmete's still got Orange Rally behind him, but Orange Rally's now got Rocco in his rearview mirrors, and the Lexus is going to be absolutely getting ahead of steam here down the start finish straight. He's got so much straight line speed, and Rocco breezes past Orange Rally like he's not there. Does he get his braking point right now? That's the question as we come onto the race. Yes, he does. He gets it nicely turned in for turn 1, and Rocco up into 5th place there ahead of Orange Rally. Beautifully done there from Rocco. Now trying to pull up onto Carmete if he can for 4th place in this race. Commentators getting a little bit wide there out of turn 9. Can Rocco get this one around the outside? Looking to try and make 2 moves in the space of a lap as Commentators goes deep into turn 9. Rocco not able to complete that one. He looked like he was slightly ahead coming into the sector point, but nothing doing there for him. So it's Rocco from Commentators from Orange Rally in this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th places. The gap's coming down at the front though. The Cheyenne Speed's only got 5 seconds now to MTL Bloodshot, so MTL Bloodshot gained a second on that last lap. He's starting to absolutely get ahead of steam here, running in P2 right now, but he's got a long way clear of PS Vids running in 3rd place, who drove the absolute wheels off of this in this first stint. As we can see our first driver into the pits, that's Rocco, bringing it in at the first opportunity, getting a moment of respite here as he now gets that car controlling down the pit lane. We've got Commentators running in 4th place still, just under 3 seconds clear of Orange Rally, and Dracula there moving into P6 for the time being, with Rocco coming into the pits. As Nilsson and Recco Vantage both into the pits as well here. Continuing to come down here between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot. Gap now 4.7. It was 5.3 at the start of this lap, so it's no fluke. MTL Bloodshot gaining a second on the previous lap. He's continuing to make gains at the same rate that he did on that last lap there, so this is looking like it could be very much race on for the win here. Cheyenne Speed's been holding the lead for the last few laps, but that could be called into question over the second stint of this race. We're reaching the halfway point, pit windows open, either of these two can come in, but they're both electing to stay out for now, as the gap now down to 4.3. so MTL's bringing it. And what's Cheyenne Speed got to offer out the front? We lost another driver from the race. Recco Vantage has left. Recco Vantage has left the race, so he's going to be done for this session. He was running in P9 it was before he retired, so he was in P10, so he would have got some decent points, but he's thrown in the towel here. Is Recco Vantage. Rocco Nilsson both having pitted. Apollo Aston in the process of getting his pit stop done. Gap at the front between Cheyenne Speed and MTL still 4.3, so it's not away. It looks like it's come down more. That looks like he's less than 4 seconds. I'd say that's about 3.7. We'll see as they come out of the last corner. I reckon that's come down some more here. 3.3 now. So MTL gained a little bit more coming through that final corner. 3.3 the gap here at the front. Cheyenne Speed now clinging on. The Orange Rally into the pits, so Orange Rally's coming in, getting this mandatory pit stop done just before the halfway mark in the race. Doesn't look like anybody else is coming in on this lap, so he's the only one of the entire pack to come in this time around. Gap 3.5 between Cheyenne Speed and MTL Bloodshot. Rocco currently pulling up onto the back of Apollo Aston. So Rocco already made his pit stop, Nilsson also, as is Apollo Aston, so these drivers have all come in and made their stops already. Rocco and Apollo Aston are a lap apart from each other at this point. But Rocco in a scrap for 4th place in this race, pitted when he was just behind Mete, so he's very much in that fight as the blue flags are waved and Apollo Aston moves well out of the way there for Rocco. We'll have to keep an eye on Rocco as this race goes on. Gap at the front's gone up between Shea and Speed and MTL Bloodshot. It's now 4.4 as we see Orange Rally exiting the pit lane, and we'll find out exactly where he is in relation to the others once he crosses the next sector point. We'll see what the gap is in the timings. Mete into the pits here, just after the halfway mark, coming in to get that mandatory stop done. Does Dracula do the same? Yes, he does. Dracula comes in. Nilsson's already made his stop. He's coming around now to move up a position. Well, the big question here is Mete and Dracula. Dracula will obviously a little way behind Mete on the track, but has Mete managed to maintain position on Rocco? Rocco has come out quite a considerable way ahead of Orange Rally, so Rocco must have had a reasonably quick pit stop here to be so far ahead of Orange Rally, but where's Mete going to come out in relation to Rocco? As the gap 4.2 at the front between Shea and Speed and MTL Bloodshot. MTL's got some traffic here. That's Orange Rally in between Shea and Speed and MTL. Khan's still not moving. Rocco down the start-finish straight. Rocco has done him by a long way. So I don't know really why Mete was so long in the pits, but he's going to come out. I think he's going to come out ahead of Orange Rally. So yeah, Mete does hold on from Orange Rally. There's Dracula coming out of the pits. Shea and Speed, the race leader, just coming through to put a lap on them. Oh, of course, because he hasn't pitted yet. MTL Bloodshot into the pits from P2, so he's making his mandatory stop now. So it's just Shea and Speed left to come in now, as we just saw him putting a lap on those guys because he's still yet to come in for his pit stop. But Rocco still in 4th place, highest runner of those who have come into the pits already. I think he will still be in P4 after the pit window, unless PS Spids have a nightmare of a pit window, which is possible, but it's unlikely. But Rocco's done bits over the course of this pit window to come out as far ahead of Mete in Orange Rally as he has. JR saying in the comments, the only thing more disappointing than changing to dries is Blaze starting on them. I have a feeling we're not seeing this wave. And he gave us a Mexican wave. To be honest, mate, you wouldn't know whether I was doing it or not, so it makes no difference. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do a Mexican wave for you. There we go. I actually did do it. You can believe me or not, but I did. I was doing 44s in a dry track. I could have won, says Reco Vantage. And solid times 44s on the drying track, says JL. Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been really good. But it's a shame, obviously. I think Freeman likes to mix up the weather a little bit. He likes to throw in a few wet races here and there. He always puts in the chat, you may need an umbrella this week. I'm under your bed, says JR. Very reassuring to know. That'll explain the creaky floorboards. But Shea and Speed in the pits nonetheless. PS Vids has got a stop-go penalty. I'm just noticing here. He's gone wide as well. Just to compound matters, PS Vids wide onto the gravel here. And he's going to be dropping further off at the back of them. That's going to give Rocco a P3 in this race now. Rocco will be on the podium. Commentators moving to 4th and Orange Rally 5th. And PS Vids, after such a promising start to this race, it's now all going down the pan. What a shame. What a disaster for PS Vids, as he's now pulling off to the side. Don't tell me he's going to retire the car. No, I think he might have a bit of damage. But Rocco's going to come through and he's going to take P3 in this race. PS Vids really struggling. So Cheyenne Speed's coming out of the pit box, and MTL Bloodshot has done bits. He's gained so much on him over this pit window. Is he going to get him into turn 1? MTL Bloodshot looking to the outside. Cheyenne Speed just covers him off and holds on there. He's going to have cold tyres though, so these next few corners. MTL Bloodshot might be smelling blood here. Looking towards turn 3, trying to get that cut back. Cheyenne Speed a little bit deeper on the brakes than MTL Bloodshot, but he gets it turned in, and he's going to get very early onto the power here. Cheyenne Speed, is he going to get the car turned in for the corner? Yes, he keeps it on the track and keeps it in the white lines, but Cheyenne Speed just doing enough here to keep on to this race lead. MTL Bloodshot has gained a lot of time in the pit window though, and is now looking to try and take the lead of this race. MTL Bloodshot's been gaining on Cheyenne Speed here and there. It's been ebbing and flowing between these two over the last few laps, and now this is race on for the race win here for the penultimate round of the season here for the GT3s on the PS4. This is going to be nip and tuck between these two for P1 here in this one. PS Vids is coming in to serve his stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The punishment that you get for speeding in the pit lane is an invitation to try it again. It's like, okay, you failed that one, now come on, let's try again. And then obviously if you get it right the second time, then you don't get another stop-go penalty. JR, are you ready to come watch me beat me out? Oh no, Cheyenne Speed! Oh, Cheyenne Speed at the moment! Coming through turn 9, he's lost out. MTL Bloodshot now into the lead of the race. Unbelievable scenes here. Cheyenne Speed has led the race since the early stages. Since Video Gamer ran wide onto the gravel, and then he ended up crashing out of the race. But Cheyenne Speed has lost out on the lead, and MTL Bloodshot, his hard work over the last few laps, crazy. He's been coming after his man, and now MTL leads this race. What's the gap? I don't think it's too much. I think Cheyenne Speed got it going pretty quickly. The gap between them just under 6 seconds, so it's not massive. But MTL Bloodshot now with control of this race. Now Cheyenne Speed's going to have to really push in this one. Cheyenne Speed's King Phoenix in the comments. Phoenix, not now. It's been ruined. He's ruined it. He's gone. He's made a mistake, and he's now down in P2 in this race. What a disaster there for Cheyenne Speed. And he'll be kicking himself with that one, but he's already gained half a second coming through that first sector alone, so he's now really pushing this one and looking to come and bring himself back into this one as soon as he can. Between Commentators and Orange Rally is coming down a bit. It's now 4 seconds between these two, so looks like Orange Rally, well, it's actually gone up a bit there. It's now, it went up by 2/10 coming through the first sector, but Orange Rally going to try and get himself into this one if he can, as he's just coming up to put a lap on Apollo Aston. Gap between MTL and Cheyenne Speed now staying around the same. It's 5.3 between these two since Cheyenne Speed's mistake, but Cheyenne Speed gained a bit through the first sector. The middle sector, they're pretty much even. Let's watch as they come through the final corner. MTL over the line to start lap 21 of the race. Cheyenne Speed, what's the gap? It's 5.5, so MTL gained a couple of tenths coming through the final sector. So he managed to put out a bit more of a gap here. Yeah, we've got Rompu in the comments here saying, JR, are you ready to come watch how I try and beat Jazzman this time? I feel my car. Well, Rompu, very ambitious there. I've got to give credit to you for setting the bar high, but I don't know if Jazzman's beatable tonight. He seems very quick. 127s, didn't he say he's been doing in practice around Zolder, so he's going to take some beating tonight, that's for sure. There's a gap between Carl Mette and Orange Rally's come down by another half a second here, so Orange Rally continuing to chip away in that battle for 4th place. A long way behind Rocco now, but Rocco's absolutely miles behind the top 2. But if he can get himself in 3rd, then the gap won't be too insurmountable going into the final race next season. MTL and Rocco still the 2 championship contenders, but MTL will be gaining some significant points on Rocco as it stands in this one. Oh no, Apollo Aston's made another mistake. He's made a mistake coming out of turn 9. He's got to be careful because there's somebody coming up on him. There's Dracula's just coming up on the scene. Apollo Aston, though, fair play to him tonight. Like I said earlier on, he jumped in as a very late stand-in reserve to make up the numbers because they had a lot of people calling in sick tonight. At the front between MTL Bloodshot and Cheyenne Speed, just under 6 seconds. Orange Rally separated by 3.3, so Orange Rally continuing to just find bits of time over Carl Mette here and there. It's not coming down at a rate, but I think that Orange Rally will be on the back of him in about 9 or 10 laps time if he continues to push like he is. That'll bring him into striking distance probably on the last lap or 2. So Orange Rally needs to keep it consistent and keep doing what he's doing. Gap between MTL and Cheyenne Speed 5.2, so it's not going up, it's not going down. That is just stagnating between these two, and it's looking very much like MTL needs to just keep doing what he's doing, and as long as he does that, he'll be able to bring home a W. As the gap's gone up a bit between Carl Mette and Orange Rally, it's now 3.8, so Carl Mette gained a bit coming through the middle sector there. Managed to pull away ever so slightly. PS Vids' race has gone from bad to worse. He was up there battling for the lead in the early stages, let's not forget. Got his stop go penalty and made a couple of mistakes, and it all went horribly down the pan there for him. It's not been the race that he would have wanted, that is for sure. As Carl Mette's now got a 4.2 gap to Orange Rally. Paul Villa, 2 races running, I killed my race in pit, wrong tyre then speeding. I know, Paul, because you were in a really good position, you were in the battle for the win, and podium finish would have been awesome, but these things happen, mate. Dust yourself off, go again. Still another round left to go in this season. Hopefully you join us on Wednesday for the multi-class at Bathurst as well. That will be an exciting one. see the gap between MTL Bloodshot and Cheyenne Speed still at around 4 or 5 seconds. Has it come down any more? It has come down a little bit more. Cheyenne Speed is actually lapping quicker than MTL Bloodshot. Now that the shoe's on the other foot, now that it's that Cheyenne Speed that's the hunter rather than the hunted, he's really clocking in the lap times here. It's amazing, because when Cheyenne Speed was leading, it was MTL who was taking half a second each lap. And now it's the other way round. It shows whoever's got work to do, whoever's chasing, has got so much more motivation. It just forces you to take it to the next level. Although MTL did gain a 10th on Cheyenne Speed through that first sector. King Phoenix, Dracula, come on Cheyenne, push hard, push hard. Oh, we already read that comment. We read that a minute ago. As the gap's up to 5 seconds between Calm Mete and Orange Rally, running in 4th and 5th places. The two leaders, MTL Bloodshot and Cheyenne Speed, the gap continued to come down little bits at a time. The gap 4.3 now. Cheyenne Speed continues to chip away. He's got the momentum at the moment, seems to have the ascendancy in terms of the pace, but MTL has the ascendancy in terms of track position, and time is on his side with only 13 minutes left in this race. We're probably going to have, I would guess, 7 or 8 laps left. I'm not 100% sure which, but it's one or the other. And can MTL Bloodshot run out the clock and be victorious tonight here for this penultimate round of the season? He gained big points on his championship rival Rocco if he can continue to lead this race and take the win. See, MTL's got some traffic he's just coming up on now. That's PS Fids there, just in the foreground. And they've got Nilsson just in front of them. So Nilsson and PS Fids just in front of the leaders there. There's MTL Bloodshot and there's Cheyenne Speed. So, oh, what's happening here? There's some lag. Whoa, that was a big bit of lag there. And, oh no, Cheyenne Speed's out of the race. Cheyenne Speed's disconnected. Oh no, Cheyenne Speed, we saw as it happened. He just swerved off to the right. He's DNF'd. He's disconnected from the session. That was just, I think that was his connection going there. Cheyenne Speed is gone. And all of a sudden, the battle for the lead that we looked like we were going to have has completely gone. And that's going to give MTL Bloodshot a walkover. But crucially for Rocco, no, wait, hold on. Cheyenne Speed's back in the session, but he's going to have to start the lap again. I think he's going to have to start from the pits where he left off. Is he even in the session yet? He's still loading up at the moment. He's now in. Cheyenne Speed is now in, so he can now pick up where he left off, but he will drop down to... Oh, he might come out just ahead of Nilsson. He might come out ahead of Dracula as well. Cheyenne Speed needs to get that power down. I think that he's being limited here. I think that he's got a time limit on when he can actually pull out of the pit box. So there's Nilsson. Nilsson move up into 6th place. There's Edis Allcom, who will go into 7th in the race, as he's got the race leader MTL putting a lap on him. PS Fid's also in the mix there. But MTL putting a lap there on both PS Fids and Edis Allcom, but Edis Allcom losing out to both of them, so PS Fid's unlapping himself on Edis Allcom. And that is absolutely thrown Cheyenne Speed's race to the toilet there. That is absolutely gutting there. No fault of his own whatsoever. Just his internet deciding to peter out for whatever reason. And that's all that was needed to put an end to his race. You've got to feel for him there, because that was not his fault in the slightest. But MTL Bloodshot's been handed a get out of jail free card there for sure. Gap between Rocco and Carmete is going up. That's 10 seconds now between those two. Orange Rally 5 seconds behind Carmete. So at one point it looked like Orange Rally was staging a bit of a late rally on Carmete, but Carmete now seems to have that pace over him. Seems to be pulling out a little bit each lap. So the gap that Orange Rally was chipping away at is now just steadily increasing. Gap between Nilsson and Leaders Allcom 8 seconds. As Cheyenne Speed's now finally exiting the pits, but Apollo Aston's going to move through into 8th place. Where's PS Vids? PS Vids is coming to the final chicane, so Cheyenne Speed will hold on to 9th place in this race, but he has dropped down the order like no tomorrow here in this one, and that is going to be very frustrating indeed there for him. So Apollo Aston into 8th place, and that just goes to show perseverance, sticking with it, not throwing in the towel, does have its rewards. As he's made up positions over the course of this race due to it. Aston's made a mistake. Just looking back at the screen, I've had a look at the computer there for a moment. He's just lost it there coming through turn 7. He's having a bit of a twitch there, and unfortunately for him, I think he might lose out here. So Cheyenne Speed up into 8th place. But closing minutes of this race, and MTL Bloodshot still out in front. He's got a 40-second gap to Rocco. He only had about 3 seconds back to Cheyenne Speed when Cheyenne Speed disconnected. Got himself back in the lobby, but he's way down the order. But MTL Bloodshot looks like he's going to be able to bring this one home for another win this season, and it extend his championship gap over Rocco. Gap will be 13 points going into the final round of the season next week. Yeah, definitely make sure you join us next week, guys. The final round of the season, Nürburgring Championship will be on the line between MTL and Rocco, but Rocco this week has been no match for MTL Bloodshot. MTL has clearly had the pace, so Rocco will be maybe a little bit concerned about that one. He's going to have to really put in the work. He's going to have to put plenty of laps in practice if he wants to have a chance of taking this title. He's going to have to put the time in over this next week, that is for sure. Carmete still sat in that final podium spot at the moment. 7.5 seconds is gap to Orange Rally at this point. MTL Bloodshot doing an absolutely fantastic job here tonight as we're continuing to watch the battle here between Nilsson and Apollo Aston. But obviously Nilsson a lap ahead of Apollo Aston. Apollo Aston fancies his chances of keeping him behind him though, for sure. As Apollo looks like he's pulling off to the side. Is he going to let Nilsson through here? I think he is. Yep, he's going to wave him through. Good driving there, Apollo Aston. As they've got the race leader on the back of them as well, so MTL Bloodshot starting lap 29 of the race. It's going to be close actually as to whether or not we have 3 or 4 more laps. It's going to be tight because it's about a 152 lap around here in the wet, so I reckon it's going to be borderline as to whether we have 3 or 4 more laps here. we'll have to wait and see over the next couple of laps. Pardon me. Absolutely great stuff here tonight at Motive for the GT3 Championship here on the PlayStation 4 platform here in Barcelona. An ultimate round of this season going into next week. It'll be MTL Bloodshot leading the championship on 200 and something points. It'll be 13 points clear of Rocco. Obviously the gap was 8 points going into tonight, so he'll gain 5 points on him. And MTL in the box seat going into the final race at the Nürburgring next week. Can Rocco do anything? Can he challenge him over the course of the final round of the season? This week he's had no answer to the pace of MTL, so Rocco's going to have to put in the work. He's going to have to put a lot of time and effort into next week's race if he wants to win this championship, and he's going to have to hope that MTL isn't in the top 4, so it's a big ask for Rocco next week. He's got a big challenge on his hands. So you need drivers like PS4, Reco Vantage, Cheyenne Speed. Rocco will need them at the top of their game, and he'll need to be on top of his own game as well. As you see MTL coming around the final corner, and he's going to start what could be the final lap of the race, but maybe not. He crossed the line with 1:55 on the clock, so the question I suppose really is he gonna, I mean, it's about a 1:52 lap, but I wonder whether he'll just slow it down and just run the clock out, finish the race. We'll have to see. But MTL Bloodshot, what a performance it has been from this man. Has not put a foot wrong here tonight, aside from a few early scares, but he's just got on with it. He's done superbly. Chased after Cheyenne Speed, forced Cheyenne Speed into a mistake under the pressure, and then Cheyenne Speed disconnected while in second place. Only 3 seconds was separating them. Cheyenne Speed was coming back at MTL. Cheyenne Speed had a bit of momentum and was putting in the laps, but unfortunately he had a bit of bad luck really with the disconnect. Got himself back in the server, but came back in 8th place. And MTL Bloodshot has got possibly half a lap, possibly a lap and a half. We'll have to wait and see, because we have a feeling he might slow it down. Last part of this race, Rocco can take solace from this. The fact that he's actually matched MTL Bloodshot over the last few laps. The gap's been 41 seconds. It hasn't really gone up. So Rocco's kind of got into a groove over the course of this one. But is he going to put in the practice for next week at the Nürburgring for the final round of the season. But here comes MTL Bloodshot in towards the final couple of corners. Now, what is he going to do here? Is he going to slow it down? Is he going to run the clock out? I think he is. So MTL Bloodshot coming out of the final corner here at Barcelona. He's going to extend his championship gap to 13 points in the championship. He comes over to take the checkered flag. A fantastic drive here from MTL Bloodshot. He goes into the final round of the season next week at Nürburgring very much with the opportunity to take the championship. A superb drive here tonight from MTL Bloodshot. And he's the man to beat. It's his to lose this championship. I've got to say, Rocco, last season's run-up in the championship, will be hoping he can go one better, but he might have to settle for second place in the championship again. He's in P2 in this race here as he comes through the final chicane. Gets that curve, gets that chicane nicely done, and through the final corner he comes. Rocco's going to take second place here this week at Barcelona as he comes up towards the line. Nonetheless, a good performance from him. Khan Mete coming through the final corner. It's going to be a podium finish for Khan Mete with the disconnect of Cheyenne Speed and all the incidents that went on in front of him, and he'll be, I'm sure, pretty chuffed with that. And Khan Mete actually taking a step closer to Orange Rally in the points, so he'll be in striking distance of Orange Rally in the point standings. Those were the points before the race, so the gap was 9 points between them before this. So Khan Mete will probably be a little bit closer to Orange Rally, and that battle for third in the championship could be well and truly on for next week. So we've got the championship battle between MTL and Rocco, and we've also got the battle for third in the championship between Khan and Orange Rally next week. Dracula comes over P5. Edis has come over in 7th. JNSP comes over to take 8th place in the end after that disconnect. Horribly unlucky for him. PS Vids came over in 9th. Apollo in 10th. Edis Allcom has finished in 7th already. And Nilsson's going to be the last to finish in P6. And that is that. That is your lot for the PS4 GT3 Championship here at Motive. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in about 20 minutes time. 25 minutes. Give us 25 minutes for the PS5 GT3 Championship. We'll be live at Zolder for that one. Give us about 20 minutes and we'll be on. But guys, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who joined us live for this one, for the PS4s. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you very soon. Join us for the race at Zolder. We're set to have a 20+ man grid for that one, so check that out. We'll be live very, very soon. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you in a moment.